Hello, I'm Olivier Ngubito, and this is Introduction to Hydraulics and the Pneumatic System. And this is our second video in the series of videos that we have to broadcast. Remember, you as a student, you are supposed to have notebook and a pen so that you can take good notes. Last time we saw different equipment that we can use in pneumatic system, like pressure source, which has compressor, reservoir, filter, regulator, directional control valves, actuators, all of those components. And today, we're going to use them making circuits. So let's get started. Here we have a layout diagram on how the circuit looks like, whereby you have the pressure source, which is made by compressor, reservoir, and we have filter, we have regulator, and we have a lubricator. Remember, the filter is the one which is going to be removing contaminants, and the regulator is the one which is going to be regulating the pressure that we want, and the lubricator will be adding oil in the system so as to minimize as much as possible the friction. And here we have a directional control valve. I shown you a directional control valve like this one. Well, we will be using it when we are supposed to be controlling, and we will also use a flow control valve, number 8 here, a flow control valve. But before we go through all of this, we have to start by understanding the symbols. Every component is represented by a symbol so that we can make a good circuit. So all pipes are represented by lines. And we have accumulators, we have filter, we have lubricator, we have a cooler, we have a heater, we have a reservoir, we have a pressure reservoir, the one we use in pneumatics. And here we have pumps or compressor, we have pneumatic pressure source, and we have hydraulic pressure source. Next, we have check valves. Check valves are the valve which allows the fluid to pass in one way and prevent the backflow. So it is very useful. And we also have flow control valve. I think we talked about flow control valve, saying that it controls the speed of the actuators. And here we have pressure relief valves. It's a crucial component because it allows the overloading protection. And here we have a reducing valve, pressure regulator, the one that I showed you before. And we have service unit or FRL units. We can have it in two ways, either detailed version or simplified version. Then we have actuators, the one which are going to convert fluid energy into mechanical work, like lifting something, like opening the door, like punching. And we have the directional control valve here, but I need to focus on some valves and seeing some characteristics of those valves. And our valve is a directional control valve, also known as DCV, directional control valve. The first characteristic is switching position. All of these are directional control valve, directional control valve, directional control valve. All of these are directional control valve, but they are different. So if you need to categorize them, the first thing to know is the switching position. Each switching position is represented by a square. For example, let's start with this one. It has got only 2 switching positions. So we need 2 squares. This one also is a DCV, also having 2 switching positions. Also we need 2 squares. But like take this. This is one position. This is another position. And this is another position. So how many positions do we have? There are 3 positions. So let's go to another characteristic, which is a flow path. So a flow path is like the linking of 2 ports of a DCV. It's a channel through which the fluid passes through the valve. So here we have our DCV. Let's say we need to link this port to that port. So there's supposed to be a channel. There's supposed to be a path. So when this path is opened, this is shown by an arrow. And when it is closed, this is shown by a T. And the last one is the number of ports. A DCV might have either 2 ports, 3 ports, 4 ports, even 5. Let's start with this one. We need to count ports. This is a port, this is another port, and this is another port. So how many ports? These are 3 ports. Let's talk this one. We've got, this is a port, this is a port, this is a port, and the 2 here are ports with silencers. So how many ports? 5 ports. So which means a DCV might have 2 ports, 3 ports, or 5 ports. And let's see how to read it, how to read the DCV. Like this one is having 2 squares and 2 ports. So we can call it 2 per 2. And remember that the first number indicates the number of ports, and the second number indicates the number of switching position. So our valve is a 2 ports DCV and a 2 position DCV. Let's have another example here. Who can write the number? Write down on your piece of paper the number of ports and the number of position, the same way we did. There we go. So it's 3 ports, 2 position. And here we have a list of some valves. Like the first one is 2 ports, 2 position. The second one is 3 ports, 2 position. You just need to count the number of ports. And remember that all ports are put on a single block. You don't have to be putting port on all blocks. You just need to select 1 square to hold all of those ports. Let's go to the last one. It is 5 ports, 3 position. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's take one with 5 ports like this one. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we can call it 5 port and 2 positions. What about this? It has got port 1 here, port 2, port 3, port 4, and port 5. So we can say this is a 5 port. And the position, this is a position, this is another position, this is another position. So we can say it is 5 port per 3 positions. And let's see the designation of ports. Always port 1 is the supply ports, the center one, the supply ports. Port 2 and port 4, they are cylinder port, the one that go to actuators. Port 3 and port 5, they are exhaust port, the one that exhausts the air outside. And pilot ports are the ones that are used in case we are not using the lever or push buttons or pedal, but when we are using pressurized fluid. So in case you need to link port 1 to port 2, you will say this is number 12. And in case you need to disconnect 1 to 2, you will use number 10. And if you need to link 1 to 4, you will use 14. You just remember 1 to 4, 14. 1 to 2, 12. To disconnect 1 to 2, 10. And we have auxiliary ports, which are pilots, like 81 and 91. Let me go through examples by using the piece of papers, and I suppose you can do it in your free time. Starting with this, we've got 2 squares. We've got 2 squares. And we've got an arrow showing that it's an open path, and we've got T showing that it's a closed path. So if I say this to be port 2 and this to be port 1, you can see that port 1 goes to port 2. If you need to change position, you have to press from here, either by using pedal, lever, or solenoid. So you can press in this way. And this time, port 1 is closed and port 2 is closed. But remember, only ports are put only on a single block. So we can say this is a 2 per 2 DCV, right? So let's take another example. And this time we're going to use our cylinder. Here we have a single acting cylinder. And here we have FRL units. Here we have the supply. So we just need to put our DCV. So if we consider this way, we put it in this way. This is port 1, because this is supply port coming from the source. This is port 2, the one that go to the cylinder. And this is port 3, the one that exhausts the used air. Because after we use the air when it has been pushing the cylinder, it will have to go back to the atmosphere. So we can call it port 3. In case you need to change a position, you can press here. Imagine that you are pushing it. It will have to slide up to here. And see what we have. This time, port 1 goes to port 2, goes 1, port 1 goes to port 2, and port 3 is closed, which is totally different from this position. Here, port 1 is closed, and port 2 is linked to port 3, which means it is exhausting the used air. Let's use another example. Let's use this example. Again, this is our FRL unit, which stands for filter, regulator, and lubricator. This is a pressure source, and this is our double acting cylinder. So we're going to put this symbol representing a directional control valve. Let me put this in this way. So I can link this to here, and I put the exhaust. Like that. So by naming, this is port 1, port 2, port 3, port 5, and this is port 4. Let's see the scenario that we have here. In first, we have port 1 going to port 2, and port 4 going to port 5. And here our port 3 is closed. What do we have? The air is forced to go to the cylinder and pushing the piston back. And the air on this side is forced to leave the piston, the cylinder, going back to the atmosphere, passing through port 5. And in case we press here on this side, this time we are changing the position like this. And now, in the second scenario, we have port 1 connected to port 4, and we have port 2 connected to port 3, and this time port 5 is closed. What does it mean? It means that our pressurized air goes to the cylinder and forcing the piston to move away. At the same time, the air leaving the cylinder on the other side, through port 2 to port 3, which is going to be ejecting it to the atmosphere. So we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means this is a 5 per 2 DCV, directional control valve. Hope you have understood well. Before we end up, I would like to tell you that normally DCVs are controlled either manually by levers, or by push button, or they can also be controlled mechanically by roller or by spring, or by electrically by solenoid. Let us stop from here today, because we shall continue with the next session, and from there we shall now connect the circuit using these valves. Thank you for coming.